Welcome to the show. This is The Force Always. My name is Diz, aka David Zammit, and this show is going to be dedicated again, but this time to the ticketing devastation, and it's an update to Star Wars Celebration 2027. So just to let you know, I want to acknowledge the amount of support through views on this last particular video I did. It's always great to get views on those numbers and plus and higher. But you know what? I did that video just to sort of get it off my chest, and I acknowledge every single one of you out there for viewing this last video and maybe this video. It was just, it was great to know that I was not the only one. Sadly to be, not the only one. Even though this is, it's a third world problem. I know it's, it's just, Star Wars Celebration. It's just a big third world problem here. But let's focus on the issue at hand. I mean, yes, there's many other things we could talk about in the world, but, Star Wars Celebration in LA 2027, which is pretty much helmed by either Star Wars, Disney, Lucasfilm, Reed Pop, or Leap, or all of those or others. I'm not exactly sure to the absolute minute detail. But you need to come up front. This is a message to them, not the fans. To them, if they are watching this, you need to claim responsibility for the absolute ticketing devastation this was. Not only did the ticketing go really quick for in selling out, but it was really slow in getting to a lot of us, especially international. Now, the biggest complaint that I've seen from other YouTube outlets and internet outlets is that the amount of tickets you could buy in one purchase, 20 tickets for one purchase, is part of the reason why these tickets sold really quick. Maybe that could have been a reason and how to, sell this event as like, oh, it's a sellout. But 20 tickets, do you think 20 tickets are going to go to friends and family completely? I can tell you this, the only way that you would get 20 tickets in a big way sold to a lot of people are the people in the USA, which is not a problem about the USA, but internationally, I don't think there's going to be many people that are able to bring 20 people at a time. The fact that it was 20 people is way too much. Scalpers are going to sell these, and they're flooding the internet already trying to sell these tickets. I've heard of a ticket, a VIP ticket, for selling for more than $20,000. Whether that's American or Australian, it's way too much. And they're selling these $95 one-day tickets for up to $300 or $400. That's what the average is. Whether that's American, I'd say that's American. It's ridiculous. So Disney, Lucasfilm, Star Wars Celebration, or Reed Pop, I'm sure it's Reed Pop, or Leap, or they need to claim responsibility and they need to fix this situation. Not, worry about, oh, this is great feedback for the next celebration. It needs to happen now. Now, I sent emails to Star Wars Celebration, to Reed Pop and Leap to get to the bottom of this. And the most outrageous response I got, which is most of them were automatic replies, but one came from the Reed Pop team. Now, I won't read the exact email, but I'll read the first sentence to sort of demonstrate the the qualifications of some people in highly qualified jobs. The automatic reply said to me from Repop, "Hi there, due to the pandemic." Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the pandemic was 4 or 5 years ago. This generated message is an absolute disgrace in a response to a serious inquiry of why and to reinstall these tickets. That's ridiculous. I did get other messages from through email from the other places, but they pretty much were just, unfortunately, due to the being sold out, we can't do anything for next time, but for this time, but next time we will think of this as good feedback. No. It's going to be fixed, not just for myself, but the many Star Wars fans, hardcore Star Wars fans, that were on the particular line, the queue, for 4+ hours. There was some that were 3, some were the 5. I was on 4.5 hours. This is not good for any of us out there. You would get, I think, about, I'd say 10 to 20,000 more customers. And if you did sell those tickets now, the scalpers, the ones who bought those tickets, the mass amount of tickets, and scalping them online, well, it would destroy their chances in selling them, because if Star Wars simply sells them to in the proper way to the customers the scalpers will not be able to sell their tickets. There's a result for you. I'm not a qualified person in the whole qualified, professional world, but that is a great resolve. You start selling the tickets ASAP to the people who want these tickets to dissolve the scalpers, the possible scalpers out there. I mean, this is incompetence to the absolute maximum. I mean, think of it. How can you not think that Star Wars Celebration 2027 is not going to be iconically massive when it's the 50-year anniversary? We've got living legends like George Lucas to be there. I'm sure he'll be there. Mark Hamill, I'm sure he'll be there. Harrison Ford, I'm sure he'll be there. John Williams, I'm sure he'll be there. And amongst many other Star Wars actors and people like that will be there. And this is iconic. This is once in a lifetime. This cannot be resolved to the next particular event. I tell you, it's unbelievable. All I have is thanks to the fans for Star Wars, and that really did view my channel and also other channels. I saw the views and the much dislike as well. It was just ridiculous. But anyway, I did get a lot of messages, and I'm going to read hopefully all of these messages and sort of give homage to these people. So in my message section, which is in my last particular video, which is what of my YouTube channel, which is what I usually ask people to do, but So a Miss Havasam 1287. I wish I'm saying your name correctly, Miss Havasam 1287. He or she has said, "I'm glad you're reporting on this." I think it was, "I'm glad you're reporting this. This whole experience was bullshit. They only did this to make sure the media knew it was sold out. But it didn't sell out to fans. It sold out to influencers, shills, and resellers." Unbelievable. And there was a reply to this, and let's have a look at the reply. No, it's not going to show me right now, but anyway, another message was Rowdy Stouty. I think that's how you would say Rowdy Stouty. If they do not fix it, I will not even try to go to Celebration again. I'm with you. This is a make or break. Disney, Lucasfilm, Star Wars Celebration, Reed Pop. Also, Rowdy Stouty again is put, the 20 ticket thing was brutal. Scalpers must have feasted on that. Was only allowed one Friday and was not able to get a second for my wife. Unbelievable. So then we got the Real Midwest Collectibles. The Real Midwest Collectibles. He or she's written and said, yeah, I had the exact same thing happen to me just under 5 hours, and all that was left was Thursday and Sunday. Why in the world would you allow 20 tickets in a single buyer that should be maxed out at four tickets for the single buyer? Unreal. I really hope they do something about this in the future. Well, I'm talking about the present, not the future, but I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. At Computer Boy 2K has said the biggest issue was that those who were able to get through were allowed to buy up to 20 tickets. Look again, 20 tickets at a time. It should have been 10 or even 4. Realistically, I'll say 4. You know, there were people just going to flip those tickets. If you don't know what the term flip, pretty much scalp, pretty much resell. That's what that term means, just in case you didn't know. Allies of the Force has written and said, I could have got the VIP. I attempted to pay for it, would not take my payment. I tried and tried to get the 4 individual tickets, but again, it would not take my payment. I got up at 4 a.m. as well and got nothing. I am so bummed today. The ticketing system is the worst. And more comments. I can't say F you, Repop. Enough time. Oh, man. I'm with you with that one, let me tell you. F you. What does F you mean? Well, let me just say it. Fuck you, Reed Pop, for making a disgrace of a system. Unbelievable. Samir84 took me 4 hours to get in and only kids were available. I hate Repop. Letting people buy up to 20 tickets is ridiculous. A22208 has said the convention center is way better than the crypto exhibitions. Well, that's a comment, yeah. Forest Traveller 451. My wife and I were planning on attending this year, as this would have been our first Star Wars celebration. The Scalpers would have absolutely ruined this experience for all of us, and we really don't want to support anything Star Wars related anymore. You know what? I get it. Like, I am looking forward to the Mandalorian Grogu, of all things. A lot of people are not, but I sort of got that feel since the last real trailer, and the merchandise that you can get, and I was just like, I'm starting to feel. But now, I'm feeling flat. I really have no desire at this stage. Look, I'm not going to hold back. I no doubt will still go, as I bought some tickets already, but I am just not feeling this, Another comment, John Perella K9K. You need to complain directly to Disney. Others have complained to them, and they said they are looking into this. Well, I did, technically, contact it was Lucasfilm. There was an email sent to them. They did reply and saying they'll get back to me, but they just need to think of how to do this. They need to get on top of this for this one ASAP. I'm talking like in the next week. Because to hold on to this, as anxious it is being online waiting for the tickets, it's now extra anxiety for a lot of us to see if something will ever be done for this one. This one, Star Wars Disney, Star Wars Celebration, Repop, Leap or whatever it is. River, Time F4C. I was in queue for almost 5 hours, and when I was finally able to enter the site, everything sold out. Lots, LOL, horrible experience. I was close to 5 hours. I was 4.5. But I feel you. At Rowdy Stouty, great call on Crypto Arena. A larger venue and releasing more tickets would be common sense at this point. Thank you for posting this and hope that you find some tickets, mate. The Crypto Arena is right next door to the Los Angeles Convention Center. They need to look into that. If the amount of people is an issue in the LA Convention Center at the moment, then they need to look at the Crypto Arena. Now, if they think, well, it's a lot of money to do this, mate, Star Wars, Disney bought Star Wars Lucasfilm for $4 billion. I'm sure there's some sort of change left over, especially from the movies and merchandise they have made through these last 10 years. I'm sure you can get something at the Crypto Arena, even at worst, creating some sort of outside canopy, proper sealed, excuse me, I'm so riled up, something that you could do to extend the LA Convention Center, or if there's rooms in that LA Convention Center that's not been taken up, use those. I mean, Star Wars Celebration had about 100,000 Star Wars fans. Now, apparently this center holds 70,000 per day, well, in the center. To increase that is you've got to look outward. You can't move the whole sort of thing now to another location. You need to think outward, and outward is Crypto Center. So just, cut your losses, Star Wars, and do this. Next question. Michael from Werribee South, our favourite one there. He's written, I think, the same question twice, but I'll answer one of the questions. Do you think they will release new tickets in the future? Set of new tickets in the future. I think that's what he meant. I think they possibly will. It could be closer to the date of Star Wars Celebration 2027. But for us international travelers, that's way too late. For example, coming from Melbourne, Australia to get to LA in Australian dollars is around $2,000. That's Australian dollars. By that time, about a month out, that $2,000 will turn into $3,500. So if they don't release tickets soon enough, then money that could be spent on merchandise at Star Wars Celebration will be spent on traveling at a higher price, especially hotels. Personally, it's a bad mistake. Anyway, the next question we had, Isabella Weiss 2944. I do agree that they should have shortened the ticket amount you can get. But it's kind of like San Diego Comic-Con, where not everyone can go, but you can always try and hope to get tickets. They kind of have put a cap on how many they can sell. Look, I don't know much about the San Diego Comic-Con. I know that's an intense gig. that's next level. But well, it's just probably the same level of celebration, probably a bit more legendary, I'd say. The San Diego Comic Con, but the amount of tickets for one buyer is way too excessive. I completely agree. This is the main problem with what I'm coming across here. Allies of the Force, I totally agree, mate. I'm from Kilmore, Victoria, which is close to where I live, Melbourne, Australia. Last year's celebration in Japan was so much easier to get tickets and was fantastic. I was planning my first trip to the States and going to Miami and Mexico. I'm looking into going to San Diego Comic Con for next year. Look, all I'll say is the people, if you've booked, hotels, if you've got a flight, try and push it to the max here, because there could be a save here. If Disney, Star Wars Celebration, Repop or Leap or whoever it is can really hear maybe this or other YouTubers or the complaints that are being sent to them and act upon this soon, we could get a good resolve. But at the moment, if Star Wars thinks, oh, look, they'll stop thinking about it in the next couple of weeks and they'll just dissolve. By the time of the 50th anniversary, by the time of Star Wars Celebration, the reminder of what we all lost or didn't have a chance to get into will be there. The bitterness can only increase unless qualified people out there can get their heads on straight and think, how can we reduce the bitterness here? Oh, God. Anyway, this has been just about an update from the ticket devastation of Star Wars Celebration 2027. I'm not going to really bring too much of this in future episodes unless there is some sort of update. I am going to, look, I came to the point where, shall I close the channel down? I'm that uninspired with Star Wars because of this. I not even, doing anything for Star Wars again. But my passion is definitely the Force always. But also, I'm going to be very mindful of what to do next, especially with this Star Wars Celebration 2027. I'm going to keep seated, be strong. I'm asking for everyone out there, whoever watches this video, to just be strong. And I know it's a third world problem here, so it's a big issue here, but for us Star Wars fans, hardcore Star Wars fans, this is a punch in the guts. But anyway, let's just hold on, see what happens, and until next time, my friends, keep rocking.